My name's Corey Gaiman. I am part of Cactus Brick. We are based in Phoenix metro area. 6 of us came up to Santa Clara here to do a large city train display. And our new theme for this year was Wizard of Oz. And that's what you're seeing now is a scene through multiple scenes throughout the movie, where it starts with the black and white section, then Munchkin Land, then Dorothy. Now, of course, our club members do a little bit different on the scenes. So Dorothy is getting arrested for landing a house on a witch, even though they're still celebrating. And then we have Dorothy walking along the yellow brick road, finding the scarecrow. Then a little bit further, she finds the Tin Man. And, of course, the angry apple trees. And, of course, the evil witch has to show that she's evil by throwing fireballs at her. And then, of course, we have flying monkeys that are throughout the forest there. And then she moves along and finds the cowardly lion. And then the poppy fields where she falls asleep because of the spell. And then, of course, the Emerald City. And then, after that, she has to go to the evil witch's castle to get her broom. So we have the castle, we have guards there, and the witch looking out the window, watching. And we actually have them running around the top of the castle. I'm kind of suspicious about the Tin Man there with the axe so close to Dorothy, but I'm sure that's purely innocent. And then they get back to Emerald City, and of course the wizard escapes or flies away, whichever version you want to do, in his balloon. And of course it's right before she taps and go back to Kansas there.
That's really great. I love how you can basically follow pretty much the whole story of the movie as you move from left to right in this mock. And I think it's brilliant that you went with this entire grayscale little part of the land here to represent the beginning of the movie, when it's black and white before they go to this sort of Technicolor thing. So can you tell me who built the black and white part, and what do you know anything about their process in like finding these minifigures and all this stuff?
So Clark Edwards did most of the black and white. The tornado was actually Randy Busha, and here let me demonstrate. It actually does turn. Hey, I did it without destroying it. That's a good sign. So we have a cow, we've got the rowers in it, and then the black and white version of the witch on her bicycle. So we've added all that to the tornado. The black and white process, I think he just went through all his minifig collection and looked for anything that was grayscale and black and white, and made excellent looking minifigs. The tractor is incredible. I thought that was amazing for a black and white tractor. I think his biggest problem was finding his cows that were black and white. He did eventually find them, so we have that in the display. Of course, he had to make, the whole idea, the concept was to have multiple scenes. So we knew we'd have multiple Dorothys and multiple events. So he had to make 2 houses, the original before the tornado, and then the one that landed on the witch after the tornado.
Okay, this is great, and we'll maybe move on to Munchkin Land here. We've got a bunch of people with the short legs on these minifigures, and of course, I see that we're using the official Wicked Witch and the official Dorothy, Scarecrow, Tin Man, and Lion, and then throughout the build, you chose to go with a sort of an assembled flying monkey. Can you tell me do you know about that decision? Who made the decision to build the flying monkeys?
Well, that was in the Lego Dimensions set, which we were very lucky that the 99-cent store had those really cheap in Arizona. So it was either that or the minifig monkey, and those were just too expensive for us, especially when we had to have 5 or 6 of them.
Yeah, that's cool. That's good. That made me curious to know. There's so much color I love the contrast going from the black and white to the Munchkin Land. There's just so much color in here. Can you point out any minifigures in particular there that you think are, particularly funny or, hidden Easter eggs?
No, basically just what I mentioned earlier was Dorothy being arrested was the main thing here. Basically what we were trying to do for Munchkin Land was get the most colorful minifigs and buildings and everything that we could. We actually did try to put flower pots on top of minifigs' heads, but it just looked like a plot, a flower. It didn't look like a minifig, so it looked really weird. So we were just trying for color, flowers. All the minifigs here and the Munchkin buildings, Clark Edwards again built, and I think he just went through his entire collection looking for color, and this was what we got out of it, and it is impressive, especially right next to the black and white section. I mean, it's just a major contrast. That's
great. And then the Emerald City down there is assembled primarily from, it looks like a few different colors of transparent green.
So basically it has trans-clear plate 1x2, mainly because that was on the pick-a-brick wall a few years ago, and trans-green plate 1x1s. So it's other than the gate, everything's built from those two pieces.
I feel like you executed that really well. Who was the builder on the Emerald City there?
Stephanie Goff built the Emerald City, and then I helped with the lights. So that's actually Brick Stuff's lights underneath each of the buildings. We were able to run, they've got really thin wires now. We were able to run the wires and power it through a USB battery.
That's great. And you said 7 people collaborated on this?
6 total.
Okay. And how did you organize your collaboration? Were you all together in one place, or did you make a plan online, or?
So basically, we had to watch the movie quite a few times. So we kind of turned the volume down during most of the musical parts. But anyways, what we did was we identified iconic scenes throughout the movie, and we basically wrote that down and figured out what was there. I mean, one of the things I didn't realize, and this is after 3 or 4 times watching it, there's actually a building behind the Tin Man. I never noticed that until I was actually trying to build the scene and went, hey, there's a building there. And the witch is actually on top of the building, but it never clicked with me that, hey, there's a building there. So actually that was one of the last things we built, because we didn't even think about it. But at each scene, we identified what was there, what people would remember, and we tried to incorporate it in each of the scenes for that.
Well, this is really great. Thank you, Corey. Is there anything else you'd like to point out to our viewers?
Mainly just we got great response from the people here, and would like to just thank everyone for, especially Bricks by the Bay, for giving us the opportunity to display it here.
All right. Thank you so much for taking your time today to tell us about this.
All right. Thank you.